A new piece of legislation in Poland has rapidly become the focus of international concern. The country's law on Holocaust remembrance makes suggesting Polish complicity in the Holocaust a crime. It would mean jail time for those found guilty of using expressions like Polish death camps, up to 3 years. Historians are calling it an attempt to rewrite the past.
There is no question that the camps were established in Poland by Nazi Germany. There is no question that there was no Polish responsibility to those camps and to the awful things that happened in them. But during the Second World War, Jews were killed not only in the camps, and there were too many events in which Jews were killed by Polish citizens during the Holocaust, and those issues should be tackled as well.
The move by the Polish government brings up a larger debate about historical truth. The victims and villains of Nazi occupation are roles that formerly occupied states continue to dispute.
I think there are two separate things. One is using nationalism in politics and national pride, and this is definitely what they are doing, and this bill is part of it. That the aim of this bill in intentions at the beginning was that no one will tell us that we were responsible for Second World War, no one will tell us that we were responsible for Holocaust. Holocaust was done by Nazi Germans, and that should be granted by law. And we are proud Poles and we will defend our national pride, right?
For the Polish government, the law is needed to set the record straight and pointing away from Poland.
Kłamstwo święcimskie.
The Holocaust denial is not only denial of German crimes, but also other ways of falsifying the history. One of the worst forms of this lie is to diminish the responsibility of the actual perpetrators and to put this responsibility on their victims. We want to fight this lie in every form. That is why we are amending the law on the Institute of National Remembrance. The camps in which millions of Jews were murdered were not Polish. This truth must be protected because it is part of the truth about the Holocaust.
The law also criminalizes denial of anti-Polish violence by so-called banderas who fought in the anti-Nazi Ukrainian insurgent army. Ukraine, in turn, has its own law that prohibits criticism of the very same army. Ukrainian members of parliament have ratified a formal condemnation of the law and called for its reconsideration. Kiev urged Warsaw not to let politicized disputes damage the two countries' strong relationship as allies. Polish opposition leader Marek Borowski says that in such legal tussles over national memory, freedom of speech is on the chopping block.
There cannot be any law that will suppress the discussion. This bill is worded this way, that this discussion can be suppressed, here in Poland, but also abroad. And this is the worst fear.
Meanwhile, the European Jewish Association worries that the sentiments at stake are not purely about events of the past. Many in the Jewish community see the law as a sign of growing ethno-nationalism in the 21st century. They warn that whitewashing history in this way could lead once again to the same circumstances that allowed for the Holocaust.
We all know that Poland was not running the country during the Holocaust. Of course, we know that the death camp have been built by the Nazis, but you cannot wash away part of the history. You cannot take away the responsibility of the Polish government, and we see more and more signs from the rise of nationalism in Poland, from the rise of anti-Semitism in Poland, from the rise of the calls to ban ritual slaughter and freedom of religion, that we're getting into very, very dark time in Poland.